Have you ever felt like you were wrestling with something in the middle of the night? Your fears, your past mistakes, your future? Well, today we're diving into one of the most intense and mysterious stories in the entire Bible, the night Jacob literally wrestled with God. It's a story about fear, identity, and the kind of transformation that only happens in the dark. Whether you're a Bible scholar or just curious, this story has something for everyone because it's about the battles we all fight. Let's get into it. So, picture this. Jacob is on his way home after being gone for years. He originally fled because he tricked his twin brother, Esau, and stole his blessing. It was a messy situation. Now, God has told him it's time to return, but that means facing the brother he deeply wronged. Jacob has no idea if Esau is still holding a grudge, or worse, planning revenge. Then he gets the news. Esau is coming to meet him with 400 men. 400! Jacob's mind immediately goes to the worst-case scenario. Is this an army? Is this the end? He is absolutely terrified. In a panic, Jacob starts strategizing. He sends wave after wave of gifts, livestock, servants, you name it, hoping to soften Esau's heart. He divides his entire camp, his family, his flocks, into two groups. His logic? If Esau attacks one, maybe the other can escape. It's a move born of pure desperation. He even prays, and it's a raw, honest prayer. He reminds God of his promise, admits his fear, and begs for protection. Jacob, the guy who usually relies on his own cleverness, is at the end of his rope. He's anxious, exhausted, and completely uncertain about what the next day will bring. As darkness falls, Jacob makes one final move. He sends his wives, his children, and everything he owns across the Jabbok River, getting them to safety. And then, for the first time in what feels like forever, Jacob is completely alone. There's no one to talk to, no one to hide behind. No more schemes, no more tricks, no more distractions. It's just him, the sound of the river, the darkness of the night, and the crushing weight of his past and his fears. It's in this moment of total isolation, when he's at his most vulnerable, that everything changes. Out of the shadows, a man appears. We don't know who he is or where he came from. He doesn't introduce himself. He just grabs Jacob, and the fight is on. They begin to wrestle, and this isn't a quick scuffle. They wrestle all night long, from dusk until the first hint of dawn. Imagine the sheer endurance and desperation. Jacob is fighting for his life against this mysterious stranger. This wrestling match is a perfect metaphor for Jacob's entire life, a constant struggle, always grasping, always fighting to get ahead. As the hours drag on, Jacob starts to realize this is no ordinary opponent. There's a supernatural strength, something divine about this man. But Jacob, true to his nature, refuses to give up. The man, seeing he can't overpower Jacob through wrestling alone, simply touches Jacob's hip, and instantly, it's dislocated. The pain must have been excruciating. Yet even with a dislocated hip, Jacob holds on. He refuses to let go. He's been running his whole life, but tonight, he's not running anymore. He's holding on for dear life. As the sky begins to lighten, the stranger says, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob, clinging on in pain and exhaustion, says one of the most powerful lines in the Bible, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." This is a turning point. Jacob is no longer fighting to win. He's fighting for a blessing. He's fighting for a breakthrough, for healing, for something that only this divine being can give him. He's desperate for a new beginning. The man then asks him a simple but profound question. What is your name? Jacob answers, Jacob. He's admitting who he is. Jacob means supplanter, deceiver, the one who grabs a heel. He is confessing his entire identity as a struggler and a schemer. Then, the man says something that changes everything. Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome. Israel, one who wrestles with God. Jacob finally understands. He has been wrestling with God himself, face to face. He asks for God's name, but doesn't get a direct answer. Instead, right there, God blesses him. As the sun rises, Jacob, now Israel, limps away. The limp is a permanent, physical reminder of his encounter. It's a mark of his struggle. But he's not the same man who entered the night. He is no longer just the trickster, the runaway. He is Israel, a man who wrestled with God and was transformed by it. He's walking away with a new name, a new identity, and a new kind of courage. This isn't the courage of a clever plan. It's the courage born from a face-to-face encounter with God. Now, he is truly ready to meet his brother Esau. So, what's the big takeaway from this wild story? It's not just about a bizarre wrestling match. It's about our own struggles, our own dark nights of the soul. We all wrestle with fear, guilt, and the parts of ourselves we're not proud of. This story shows us that God doesn't just wait for us on the other side of our problems. He meets us right in the middle of them. Sometimes our greatest transformations happen in our darkest, most painful moments. The struggle might leave a mark, a limp, but it also reshapes us into who we are meant to be. Jacob entered the night as one man and walked out as another. He went in afraid and came out blessed. He walked away with a limp, but also with a new name that would become the name of an entire nation. His struggle wasn't the end of his story. It was the beginning of his true identity. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into one of the Bible's most powerful stories. If this resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that explores the mystery, humanity, and hope found in these ancient texts. See you in the next video.